Hi, you guys. I was just sitting here praying, so I got a little blushy. Um, you caught me, but that's okay because I want to catch you praying too. People tense up when you hear the word praying. Some people, but it's actually just a conversation with your Father in heaven. But you should talk to him like your best friend. That's what I did, and that's what I do. Um, and when I stood in heaven and told them that's how I did it, that's part of what I'm supposed to share with you guys is that you can do that because if I can do it, you guys can do it. And he is just as real and more so than we are. You know what I mean? He's our creator. And in that way, that's like your father. It just is. And so it's okay to worship him and it's okay to be grateful and it's okay to say thank you and to go home ashamed, as long as you're trying to be honest and clean and open. It's really cool. It's not just something I come here and say, it's something I do. And I do still get embarrassed about it because in my life, I was never taught anything. And I mean, zip, zero, zilch about praying, except for when from 0 to like 6. I was born in Michigan, then went to that hospital in West Virginia. But then for 6 years of my life, I lived in Alabama. That's what I mean to say quickly. And, and then I moved back to Michigan and started kindergarten here when I was 6. Um, so anyway, in Alabama, we went to Bible school on a bus, like Southern Baptist schools. And I remember going there and singing This Little Light of Mine and stuff like that, um, and having Christmas parties, but little else. I was very young and still having accidents. Um, anyway, here we are. And still to this day and throughout my journey from 93 to here we are, 2022, um, I still get embarrassed to like pray or talk out loud and about it. So it's just humbling. I've seen my prayers answered. I've written about them in my journal and seen them answered, um, and seen them obviously right in front of my face. Um, and everybody should, you know, pray for those same experiences. I guess I don't know. I don't. I'm rambling today, but that's going to happen. I came here to talk, and I'll get there about more about the number 21, about how, what it has to do. I like pointing with my straw now. The year 2010, when as part of the breakdown, that was the year 2010. The tour that was being done, it was referred to sometimes as the SOlO tour. Um, and again, you guys remember, if you remove the zeros when you're doing gematria, you're always going to end up with the 21. So as that sits there behind me, I'll explain that in a minute. I'll get there. Um, pardon that lingering cough. Um, 2010 is really interesting. I'm always looking. I feel like I've kind of said it all in a way to try to make you guys realize how big and how real this situation is, but yet every teaching or bringing of sharing of information has to, I'm trying to make a foundation for it. And so last night, the inspiration was the year 2010, which I started seeing as the word solo, which, if you know, on the Come uh, CD, I call them CDs because that's what I bought in the 90s, CDs and tapes. Now I rely on my title subscription, but the Come CD, which is very underrated, it's a very good CD. Um, sorry, lost my train of thought. What was I saying about that? Sorry, you guys, that's going to happen from time to time. Oh, the song Solo. Yeah, it'll come back. Is, really hauntingly alone and so alone. I can almost feel the blood rushing through my veins. Yeah, that song. I can't think of the lyrics right now, although I do like singing that song alone in a quiet room. And if you have never tried it, you should. It's haunting, though, just like the Lonely song on the Vault CD. Is it me, or did the room just get darker? Is it me? Did the world just crumble at my very feet? That song. As much as I listen, I can't always recall the lyrics. I have total recall of other stuff though. So. Anyway, it's a very sad song. It always made me really sad. And, a person has to know when they're listening to that song in particular, if you haven't, you will feel it, that even if you saw him as just an artist or whatever, people don't just go and sing like that. They don't care how amazing a falsetto is. That is, that's somebody's insides coming out, just like the scream and breakdown 3/4 of the way through. It's the music was always more than music. It was a piece of him. It was his DNA. It's like blood, life's work, so anyway, they called it, I think, the Welcome to Wherever They Were tour 2010. When they were in Canada, which was part of, where they did the Renville Wellington thing, they were doing Welcome to Canada. When they were in America, it was Welcome to America, but they never really called it that. It was like Welcome to Tour, and it was also referred to as the SOlO Tour. And, in 2010, that's when Prince was said to have had hip surgery. I talked about it in some of the other files. Rick Peliquin disclosed that Dr. Truesdale at the Mayo Clinic was the one he thought had done the hip surgery, and that the chiropractor was somebody there in town, Dr. Isaacson, I think. And, the media wants you to believe on that hip surgery, but all through the files with Dr. Schulenberg, I told you guys, they refer to hip pain, but never hip surgery. And that's neither here nor there. I'm not coming here to say this, that, or the other, just pointing things out, because though I am a teacher on some level, I'm sharing with you guys so that you too can teach yourselves, because, I can only do so much and I'm given so much, but it's something for us all to do. I mean, when you're given as much as he's given me to give you, and it's up to you with what you do with it thereafter. So hopefully you'll do something. Anyway, on that, they, the whole media thing is sold on the fact that he was taking so much Norco for the hip pain from the hip surgery, which was done in 2010. And there's no basis for that, because no interviews, no nothing, none of the files, no nothing. So not only that, but what you see behind me is some of the dates for the SOlO tour that are going to be very interesting. So if you haven't been listening, you want to listen when I get back here. Now, in 2010, the SOlO tour was like February, April, I think, real heavy in July, okay, and then in October to November, okay. So there was also the BET Awards in June of 2010, in which he performed, okay. So I want to ask you first and foremost, when somebody could have had hip surgery and then still done all the performing, okay. But it gets deeper than that, you guys. Here, I want to point out something to you, and it has to do with when I passed and when the tour was being done in July of 2010. The concert dates for, I don't know what venue they were at, but I took my notes here and then put them on the board. In July of 2010, to the best of my research, there was performance on the 5th, 9th, 10th, 13th, 18th, and 25th of July. Now, when you take the difference in days, and this is super duper important, the difference between the 5th and the 9th is 4 days. The difference between the 9th and the 10th is 1 day. The 10th and the 13th is 3 days. The 13th to the 18th, 5 days, and 7 days to the 25th. Okay. So when you put that, what do you guys see? PIE 57. It's the pi equation again, the 314 pi, with the difference in the dates and the concert there. And then also the age he was when he passed. Okay. Now, if you watched any of the other videos, I told you I died on July 20th, 2010 of a heroin overdose. And I was gone, I think, for as long as a person can be, with no Narcan and no nothing. I just came back on my own after some minimal CPR, after fingertips, lips, and things started to turn bluish purple. So that date of 7 2010 fits right in there. Okay. And if you erase the zeros, then what we have is 721, 2 sevens together, or 3 times 7, which is 21. May not all make sense, but it'll come together. Now here I did some more equations, you guys, because 13 times 7 equals 91, which is the opposite. It's the 19, or the 1/6, like we've talked about. And then if you take how I got the 13 times 7 was this. These same numerals right here, 4, 1, 3, 5, 7. I took and added 4 plus 1 plus 3 plus 5, and that equaled 13. And then I times it by 7, and it came up to be 91, which is the opposite of the 1/6, the 19. Now, when I say I did that, I mean the hand did that, okay? Because this stuff happens so fast, you guys, that it's the creator, he tells me, and it just happens real fast. Now, I do want to say something for the naysayers out there. I did this research on the 2010 tour, I don't know, some months ago, probably, the majority of it. And those are the dates that I saw. However, I found it really interesting yesterday when I went online to double check my numbers so that I wouldn't, have somebody calling me on BS. I went online to research my numbers, and if you look and go Google Prince concert tour dates, I forgot what website it was. There's Prince dates showing after 4/21 of 2016. I would grab my cell phone, but it's on the charger because I took screenshots. Go check it out for yourself. So there's been a lot of finagling because I think the PK Prince, and with the way the media works, they're actually going back and republishing the pages just like they did with that last public concert that he wanted notated at 10 p.m. on the 19th or whatever it was, where he played chopsticks. I talked about it on the one video. Anyway, so these are the dates that I got. This happens really fast. It's not something I just come here and say. And obviously you see where the dates fit into the date of my death. Now, something even more important, or maybe not more important, but I have this written down in a better way. You guys check out the board behind me for a second. When I, you guys know probably by now that I didn't remember anything about passing away for 10 years. From 2010 to 2020, I didn't know zilch, nothing, just nothing. It was a blank slate. Never thought about it. It was a bad time in my life and never even really tried to recall it, honestly. So it's all part of the plan. But anyway, 2010, not only does it spell out SOlO, okay, look over here on this side, 12/31/12 is when he signed the contract with Warner Brothers at 11:57. Okay, now let me look at my notes, you guys, so I can stay on track. I'm going to look at my notes a little bit so it can make sense to you. So look up there, and the 12/31/12 is equivalent, you guys. You can see in the addition how when you skip the 2, when you sus 2, like we've talked about the suspended cord in Purple Rain, you take the date of 12/31/12 and you skip the 2. Well, I don't want to mess up my work. Anyway, if you skip the 2, it gives us the 431/134 equation. So that's what I have written down there too. The pi, you see pi 134. Okay, it's just written a different way because it's the way the Hebrew letters and numbers and the gematria, they're always flowing, electric word life, like that. So the 12/31/12 equaled the 431, as you can see. Now, what I did is I carried the math down. So you can see how 4 plus 3 equals 7 on both sides. And then what you're left with is 11 in the middle. Again, open like 7-Eleven. It's the big joke. The creator is the butt of the joke in the world that we live in with the way that this has been sold. And so if that doesn't insult you, I don't know. I've got to start being insulted for him and fix it. Anyway, so the numerics carry down the 7-Eleven, the 808. Now, I didn't get there yet. 7-Eleven, you guys, adds up to 808, which is Maui. That's Maui's area code. It's where I was told that the creator is like I don't know, Dr. Moreau Island created in the beginning under the Orion constellation. I'm not sure. It kind of all flows together. I drew the maps of Maui, and there's a lot of things going on that we'll have to talk about another time, but it comes into this whole thing. It's the 808. It's the infinity symbol times 2. You can see we have 711 times 2, which adds to 808. Okay, which 808, 8 plus 8 equals 16, which brings us back to the same 19 or 16 days, 6 and 1 of Sabbath rest. Okay. Now, what there is in the middle is I wrote the number 2010, and then it turned into the SOlO tour, or the song like I was referring to. Now, what's interesting, you guys, is if you take the SOlO tour plus 12 years, going to bring us to the year 2022, which we are now. Okay. If you take the contract plus 10 years, it also brings us to 2022, or 21, and then one more card, and it's 22. So the 21 is relevant in the date that he signed, because it's the backwards 21 plus 10, which would be 31, backwards 13. It may be a little confusing. I hope it's not. But you can take a screenshot of the board and look at it for yourself. Now, what I'm saying is you can take the opposite 12 years, add it to the SOlO, and then you have 12 plus 21, which is 33, which 12 plus 21 plus 33 is 66. Okay, so 66 spells out the whole Bob George thing, but you guys, it's really, really foul how it spells George Soros. And I need to let you know that's what that also spills out. So the Bob George breaks down into the 666, the egg. But then when you carry the B's down, and you also get the Build Back Better, Joe Biden, lowercase b's, BBB, okay? And if you bring down here and you see the name Bob George, I know it's real small, but it also has the same flow, and I erased the O's because the O's don't count. It gave me the BBB Soros. It's all the same because that's who they are. You know what I'm saying? But I want to show you something. The other day when I shared this as part of the egg video, the initial breakdown of 2013 plus 3 equals 2016 plus 6 equals 2022. Okay, 22 plus 9 equals 31. Okay, which the opposite is 13. Love is Hebrew 13 in gematria, so they're trying to reverse love with this situation. It's part of the plan. But I want to show you guys something that I saw on the back of this paper. When you hold it up and look through the back, I can't see what I'm doing. You can actually make out the name Bob George with the 369, and then with the 1777 and the G for the bet, the G, it spells out the name George Soros on the back. It just does. And anybody who knows anything about the Illuminati and Bilderbergs and Rothschilds and things like that, that won't be so surprising. But anyway, it's why he forewarned us, you guys, and more on, like I said, I didn't remember anything, but then when I start to remember things, and I mentioned it before, so I always try not to be redundant, but, sorry, my paper was falling. I recall that when I was there in 2010, when we were both there at the same time, something was being done to Prince Rogers Nelson, at that time. I think it might have been when, I don't know, they were doing something, putting in a chip or killing. Listen, it's hard to describe. They might have had some kind of plan for him, or like I said, he was getting really old. He had to make some different plans for some different kind of stuff. There was a lot of plans, and I can't remember it all at once, but give me a second. He told me, because when I saw him when I died and I was humiliated, I overdosed, and we went over my life, which was, it wasn't, I'll touch on that later. I want to stay on track. He told me, sorry, roommates. I was feeling all guilty because I had died and I was there, and you know, and rightly so. But what I'm trying to say is that every single thing that I had ever done, like, and I wasn't like bad, I have done bad things, but everything that I had ever done in my life had a very, very specific reason. And, I know you guys have heard when you die, your life flashes before your eyes, but it didn't flash. It was like I stood there, took accountability for it all, explained it all, explained why I made the choices that I made. Not just that they were wrong or right, but like if I felt something was wrong, why it was wrong. Or if I felt something was right, I had to explain why it was right when the angel people brought the accusations that I was doing something wrong. And then so the Prince God, Hashem, he told me to go ahead and talk to them and just tell the truth. So that's all I did. I was like, I think they were trying to see if I could die that day or come back or something. And I was like, no, whatever it was, it's like, I'm going to tell the truth. Let's just do it now. Because there's nothing that they can accuse me of that I haven't already spoken for. You know what I'm saying? So he told me that we were there at the same time and that I shouldn't feel so rotten about being there because they needed me there. And they only had that split moment in time to tell me this stuff. Like there was no other opportunity. Like it was like he told me that whatever they were doing something medical. So maybe it was a hip surgery, maybe it was a chip surgery, maybe, I don't know. They were cloning. I don't know. He was getting real old, and I know, but that's all I can remember. And then that he had this information, all of it that I've been trying to share with you guys, and that he had to find, the creator, Hashem, had to find somebody worthy to give the information to. And so he had made sure that I died on that day specifically so that I could be there with these other, I don't know, righteous people, I think, or souls or something. And it's wild, you guys, when I think about it, because when I have these memories of when I passed, we did so much stuff. It was like, obviously I can do a video book about it, but I don't remember it all at once. So anyway, we were meditating on things. And I think now in retrospect that it was the tree of life, kind of stuff, and how the lyrics of the music, specifically Prince music, helped me to get to the level where I was to talk to these people there. And so it was just really all through the music and also through the inner hearing. Because as I said, never in my life did I have really mom, dad, grandma, anybody to rely on, anybody to talk to. Like there was people around, but you didn't do inner soul searching. You didn't, so I did that with books and how kids do outside in nature and talking to friends. And like I said, he told me since then that he was always with me and that he could always hear me, and that everything that I had done in my journey was specifically to bring me here. And to tell you guys too that, everybody does dirt and different levels of dirt. You know what I mean? My choosing to not give birth was probably the deepest level I did of dirt in life. I've stolen little things here and there, a lot of retail fraud in my day, drinking and driving, partying a lot. I never really feel too guilty about that because I always took care of my family and my kids, and nobody ever went without. And my jobs, you know what I mean? So all the things that needed to be done were done when I was doing my partying. But the thing is about the partying, you guys, like, I don't know if people still do it, but back in the 90s, 2000s, and whatever, that was the thing that we did, but then way back in the 90s, I mean, early 90s, when my mom and my sister passed, because I've been partying since I was like 15, 16, so I've done all that I need to. And that's the other thing that was explained to me, is that why I kind of lived my life in reverse and had my kids early, because they would all be brought to this point where I could do this job. And like, I want you guys to know more than about me, that everything that you think that keeps you from talking to Hashem, you don't need to let it, I mean, if it makes you feel better, please go take a shower, wipe your stink off for the day, you have to get on your knees, but the more reverent you can be, the better. But aside from all that, all you have to do is say what's in your heart. Even if you haven't done anything bad and you want a new car because your car just broke down, if that's what's in your heart and that's what's true, you have to tell him the truth. That's at least the foundation for something. But you have to dig a lot deeper than that. Trust and believe. I'm just saying, you can say that the wall is white, and that's a truth. It's a truth. You can tell him that your kids upset you today and you'd like to get to the bottom of why you feel upset, because you know that they're 3 and 5 and 18 months and they can't help that you're upset. What do you want them to do? You're their caretaker. So take those concerns, those thoughts, to your creator and voice them to him and ask him to help you get to the bottom of it. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to give you guys examples of what I did. Like, I could whip out my journal and read, and almost every entry, I love holding the straw. I don't have my coffee today. So almost every journal entry I closed out with, let my words be heard and bless this family and thank you, God. And just, I'm not saying I'm something, you guys, because I'm not. I'm just saying the things that brought me here to hear these things and the other videos that I've been doing. It's not just some cool, mystical, Kabbalistic, it's the truth. The truth is so deep, and we're so blessed to have it because it's ancient. The letters, the numbers, the plan, the creator. Anyway, I was given this information, you guys, and I'm doing my best to share it with you. I'm really, really grateful. I mean, like, truly, that people are watching, because you know what that means? It means that that the creator, he'll get to show himself and be accepted for what he is and get to love you guys the way that he wants to, and you can love him the way that he deserves. And that's what those numbers mean to me. So thank you. But more, I want to let you guys know, I've showed a few times that, some of the different channels that have been sharing the videos, I didn't just sit down one day and start getting these deeper messages. I want to show you, as time has gone by over the last 2 years, this has been within the last year, what I would do is take the Hebrew alphabet, the English alphabet, their numeric equivalents, and do the coding. I can't get in depth to what this is, but the reason I'm showing you is because I want you to know that it's not just something that it just came. The work, again, it's a joy in repetition. You write and rewrite and learn and relearn. You can see always the sus2 is written in there. Sorry, this book is kind of heavy and awkward. Just a minute, you guys. I should have took the pages out. Sorry. Little things like this, it's been a decoding process, is what I mean to say. Things like this, very random. It's not something that somebody could just sit down and, say, hey, look what I did. You know what I mean? Things like the Insaf, which is the endless sea of souls. I wrote the eye in the sky, the golden calf. Just, there's been practice involved. And the Hebrew letters. Now, you guys, I want to show you something. This was actually probably April of 2020. And if you look at the words within what this is, I can't really explain. It was the way that the creator was like talking to me. And when I was first writing his music lyrics and deciphered messages from YouTube and I mean, you name it, I was in a trance and doing it. Anyway, this page was very early on. And what you can see is, look in the middle. What do you see? Pi 666 upside down and upside right. The 3MC squared, pi 3MC. I had no idea what was going on at this point. Like I said, spring of 2020. That's just what it looked like. And then also, this is the opposite side of that. With the 3121 equation, and then I was seeing the word Maricopa, 3121 pi, and then the 109. I kept hearing this recurring in my early writings. There was this theme of a 10 with a 9 beside it, and it was telling me that that there was some kind of awful plan. Like, I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying what I was hearing at that time was like 10 billion people were supposed to die, 10 million or 10 billion. I don't know. I kept writing the words down. And, it's not fun to talk about, but it was part of the process. Things like this, you guys. America, what it does is all the letters, they turn on their sides, pardon me. Like I told you, the 3 is, I'm not going to get into it, but the reason I'm showing you those things is so you know that where we came from. You know what I mean? What kind of different coding I have done. I have pictures of all of these things. It's just like I said, I try to do slideshows, but I don't know. That's just one of the ways that the deciphering has happened, you guys. Also, it's scary to be so personal, and I'm not ready to do that yet. I was going to grab that folder. This particular folder, is the ways, and I showed them before, you guys, in which the, if you go and look at each of the covers to the albums, you know what I mean? Back in the days, 70s and stuff, people used to sit and stare into their photo covers. Go look at the photos. They all depict all kinds of things. I read about the lotus flower cover on one of the videos. I can't remember which one. Sorry. And I showed a lot of the ways in which when you stare into them, like, for instance, the Batman, I wrote down the word Batman, and then the number 13 turned into electrocution and aliens and Vatican and Victor and elevator and maritime war, and man of war, like the song. This is another something that came off the Batman. It was like giving me 369 equations and just all kinds of things like that. So all the covers have something to tell you. So what I want you to do is, instead of looking straight on at the music covers, when you're holding your phone or your computer or whatever, take your phone and look sfumato da Vinci. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Look at different angles. My phone's all dirty. And look from this angle and look from that angle and look from that angle. And you'll see all kinds of different stuff. Don't just look at it flat on, because especially like the 1999 one, when you look down, like over the top of it, it's made in like a 3D kind of puzzle way. So check it out. That's a lot of the things that were deciphered to me. And I know it's a little off the track of the 2010, but all the videos will be different depending on who I am today. For those of you that didn't, way down in the line of videos, there is an upload. It's not a live video, and I don't know the name of it right now, but it's an upload. And in it, I show some pictures that you can see me, personally, me, unrecognizably looking like this. Now, this is me sitting in my bedroom playing the keyboard in the spring of 2020. Just me in my bedroom. LED lights, keyboard, electronics all around. I was doing nothing but making a video, question of you video. And then when I went back and took screenshots of the video because I had to delete the video because the video was too long, then I went back about 6 weeks later and found these screenshots and was like, whoa. So I'll show you again in a minute, but go watch that video. It's about a half hour long. I think it's an upload, and there's a whole bunch of those pictures in there. I didn't know what they were. I still can't explain them. It's paranormal. And do what you want with it. But what you can see is that my eyes turned into black holes. It looks like, I'm not sure what's here. It looks way better. This one I just had printed out and I actually didn't even really know it was in here. But there's a whole bunch of those, and you guys might want to check it out as this gets a little deeper and deeper, just so that you know the reality of it. You know what I mean? The depth of it, because I want to share everything with you that I have experienced with the Creator over the last 2 years, because it's been phenomenal. He's shown me images in the sky with the clouds, the stars, the constellation Orion. I think it was around Mother's Day, spring of 2020. The constellation Orion was like, I don't know. They just has shown me things, and it's not imagination. They're the things that make me know that what I'm saying are true, that have the faith, the emunah, to know that the things that I'm saying are true, that make me not scared. There's just, it's a lot. It's a little embarrassing. Makes me a little shy. So anyway, I'll share more. I think I want you, only because I want you guys to know how real it is, and how the speaking and how getting to the discernment of all those other writings and drawings and the things that I shared in the last 2 videos, the egg video and so on, how they can hopefully make so much sense now, because the deciphering's been going on for a while. It's not just something that came overnight. So, early on, I got a lot of messages, and this is something I wrote. It says, 1 is nothing. 1 is the loneliest number. Before me, there was nothing. But if 1 is nothing by itself, you have to add to it for it to become. And then I wrote 1 + 1 is 3. 1 + 1 + 1 is 3, like the song. It's on the Rainbow Children CD. And then I wrote his 2 eyes looking at self. There is no I, it's we. And then so these things would just come. And even now, when I'm looking back at them, you can see the way they're written. It spells Eve, but I didn't see it at the time. And it's like a butterfly and the 2 unbroken circles, and in the wall of Berlin, I think wall of Berlin, it's looking for the 4-leaf clover or something. So I would draw 4-leaf clovers a lot. Oh, look, the date was on it, 9/4/2020. They might look like chicken scratch, but they'll become important someday, so I have to share them. I wrote this, and again, I can't do it. It's just so... Sorry, I just can't. I was getting messages that we all look in the mirror and we see ourselves. Hi, I'm Elizabeth Pride Piper. I'm here on YouTube pretending to be courageous and brave and smart and funny when, I am all those things, but it's hard, dude. It's hard. Just to the other side of that, the things that I experience, there's just a lot more to it. So sharing the personal aspect of it is just a little bit harder, because it makes a person sound boastful, and I don't like that. But early on, I would get messages that I wrote. I'll show it to you and then I'll read it. It's just... Okay. It says the cross, Elizabeth Pride. It's just things like this. Okay. It may not look like much, but this is what it says. It says the cross, Elizabeth Pride, Ascension, Redemption Plan, Isaiah Clay, Elizabeth's only begotten son, Exodus has begun, Ezekiel, Daniel, it's going to be a beautiful night, Anunnaki Queen is coming, Adore Elizabeth Pride, daughter of God before time. Those are the kind of messages I would get. So that's a little mind-blowing and humbling. And then I wrote this: Isaiah was created to be the sacrifice of victor to end the war. The Creator will be returning with Isaiah for his second coming. And then I write my birth date and some numbers and some rambles. Now here, check this out. It says plectrum, electrum, electric, electrocution. I can't see it so much because of the glare, but I want to show you how the notes come out. Okay, the Thunderbird, driver, and Thunderbird, you know. But it says to transcend hell and restore peace on earth. Plectrum, electrum, World War III plan to murder the elect by electrocution. But I will go instead so that my clean soul that contains truth, that's what I chose. And that's what it says at the bottom. And then the corner got ripped off. So if I get a little bit shy about sharing stuff like that, that's why, because it's very personal. It goes on and on and on and on. Messages about my birth date and my son's birth date. My son's birth date, for those people who are following numbers, is 9303. He was born on 9/30/03. 9303. Take away the zeros, you have 933. Okay. Guess what? He was born at 12:12 a.m. You also have another 33. And you know, those are the messages that I got. And sometimes they can be kind of deep and I cry a lot. And, you know, I was told of a higher purpose and a higher plan. So just, you know, having that not knowing hanging over your head is kind of heavy and hard to share. So thank you for allowing me to do that. It goes on and on, you guys. I would hear and see messages, you know, just about being Eve and the first woman and my birth date and all these things that I'm not going to keep showing you show and tell pictures. But like this was kind of interesting. It said party up, you know, and then the numbers would just break down that way and be like 1999. You know, by showing you these, I'm trying to show you that, again, with the language barrier that there is and was, you know, the deciphering is a lot of practice, a lot of work. This one is my birth date, which still breaks down to a lot of 3 6s and 9s. I told you guys that my 9th grandchild is due, well, yesterday. And the numerics run all throughout the DNA in the family and everything like that. It's not just me. This one was really cool. It is spelled out like temple. It's the 369, but it told me World War III, third temple, ET experiment, third temple. Look, it says third temple coming, EMC, ET experiment. So again, by sharing those things, you guys, I'm trying to let you know that I'm just as new at this as you guys are, probably. Maybe some of you have some knowledge to share with me that can help us all. You know, I'm not getting very many comments on these videos, but perhaps it's because people don't know what to say, and that's cool. But like I said, if you do have any questions, feel free to ask, because I do try to answer all the comments personally. I'm not so busy that I can't do that. Although please understand that I don't have a lot of time to carry on Messenger, Instagrams, or, you know, stuff like that, because all I do is work and, you know, do the things that I need to do for the most part. And I don't even get to see my own family, you know, and stuff like that. So I love you all and would love to be friends and help everybody in some way. But please, like Helpful Heloise or Ann Landers, send me a message and I'm happy to try to answer. Really, I will. I drew this on 12/31/16. I was looking at a photograph right after the passing. I ran off with my camera and I developed at Walmart some pictures, and I got them and they let me have them, even though they gave me some junk about it. But I did this with my very own little hands. I'm sure you guys recognize the photo. Yeah, I know Da Vinci, right? You guys, the other thing that I want to say, and this is really important, the 431134. I didn't follow my book today, and I almost let you go without telling you this is so important. I'm glad I didn't. 1 second. Sorry. The 431. Here we go. I want to say this right. In the spring of 2020, when I woke up and started getting all these messages and writings and very intense things about my son and I and the DNA, I told you guys before, if you watch the other videos, I was made at 2:00 in the morning to call my daughter and tell her not to go to work because they were going to be there to collect her DNA for the COVID test the next day. And granted, they were. And I'm really, I've had so many things happen to me that I'm asking you to listen. I'm not really just like trying to, I just want you to know that it's very real. So the 431134 sus2 equation, sus2 suspended 2 chord, purple rain is written in, the creator let us know in that deep of a way how far this goes. The importance of that in 2020, when I woke up, I was able to access Hashem, the creator, in a way that I can't really disclose. Like, I just can't. And I touched on it on one of the videos. I talked about some phone calls and some texts that were made and how I did some things that I normally wouldn't have done. But anyway, the point of what I'm saying, it goes back to the 431, and that is that on April 30th of 2001, so that was a year after I started hearing, basically, and being in contact with, on 4/30/21, which is 431134 with the sus2 if you skip it. Sometimes it snows in April. You guys, it was April 30th, 2021. And on April 30th, 2021, it's what I touched on in the Marone videos that are further down in the line. They say Marone. It's when I burned the t-shirts. I am crying. It's very heartfelt. It's very deep. You need to understand that in Marone, Israel, on 4/30/21, that there was some kind of tragic situation. They called a stampede while some prayerful people were reveling, dancing, and so forth. If you look it up, that's what it's going to say. However, I was told otherwise, and it was a sacrifice of Victor, and they didn't find what they were looking for, and so the search continues, I guess, and that's why we're here today. But anyway, on 4/3, sometimes it snows in April after a long-fought civil war, 4/3/21, the thing in Marone happened, you guys. You have to go watch the videos. Now, also, what I learned in my Rav drawer, I put him on my thing here. Go check him out. He's so real. You guys have to check him out. Just because he has a long beard and different accent doesn't mean anything. He talks real wisdom. You have to. It's like life stuff. That's how Judaism teaches. You just have to listen. But he was talking about how the highest world, or the highest sky, the highest world, or what the creator is called Marone or something. So I was like, ding, 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 light bulb. It's like this thing that happened, the sacrifice of Victor. I believe it's what I'm hearing. I don't know how exactly they pull it off or what's what. And again, I'm not flinging accusations about, it's just what I hear and how I can decipher. And it all makes sense when you know that the date of 431-134 is April 30th, 21. It with the sus2. See, look. 4321, 430, 21, because we skipped the 2 and it writes Marone. So it's 431 sus2. See what I'm saying? It's the 134 pi equation that spells out opioid. It's the plan, it's the breakdown. And I'm, again, trying to help you guys draw near to your very own creator who never had a chance to expose himself in this world because of the way that it is. I don't really know why, but now that door, that dot, that window, the knowledge is open, it's here, but you have to find a way to attach yourself to it in truth and in love and in honesty and not one little lie, you guys. I'll remind you every time. I'm a very honest. I can't tell a lie, just like George Washington, right? George Soros, you guys know who he is. Look him up if you don't. I don't like talking about some of these things, but I have to. I hope you enjoyed today. I don't have a lot else to say. I came here to continue the egg teaching and relate it to the 2010 SOlO tour and the dates of said tour, which also break down to the pi opioid, as well as the age of 57, as well as adding the numbers down here that we discussed earlier, as well as the breakdown starting on 12/21, 12/31, 12, which is, you add 21 and 12, you get 33, which is why the lyric, when you make my clock tick 12 twice, that's why. Everything for a reason, you guys, and I really hope that you're enjoying the videos, and please share them to bring the creator glory. I want to make him smile. He never smiled when I saw him there in the heaven place. He was very sad all the time. Very sad. And I asked him why. And part of the reason was because of all the horrific things that mankind does to each other and to themselves. Instead of just exposing themselves in honesty to him, they massacre each other, all in his name. That's not right. It's not going to work. And love rules. Always and forever. Thank you, guys. Thank you.